Hey, what's up everybody? Today I'm going to be making creamy black-eyed peas. And it's a New Year's tradition and we are almost at the close of 2022. So what better way to start the new year off with some good luck black-eyed peas? Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is to start on that pot liquor. Y'all know I always say this whenever I make beans. So right now I'm just using the ham bone and a little bit of extra meat from a honey baked ham that I had. And so I'm just going to first start off by just taking it out the freezer and putting it into my Dutch oven. Then you want to fill it up with enough water to almost cover the ham bones. And after that, you want to just bring it to a gentle boil, or actually not even a gentle boil. You want to just get this thing ripping hot. And so I've literally turned my stove on high just to get this stuff boiling, because that's the point. You don't really need to go low and slow with this. Just get it to a boil, get all of those juices coming out of those ham bones, and yeah. And I forgot to mention, you want to make sure that you actually use something that has a bone in it, because the bones have all of the flavor. So now onto the black-eyed peas. So I let them soak for approximately about 5 to 8 hours or so. I put them in some water at the start of the day, maybe around like 9 or so in the morning, and I came back to them around 5 in the afternoon. So there we go. That's what the black-eyed peas are looking like. And you want to just like spend a little bit of time kind of like pulling out any of the beans or like the shells that float to the top. Anything that looks discolored, anything that's not uniform or similar in color to the other black-eyed peas. So yep, do all of that, take them all out, and then your black-eyed peas will be ready. So it's been about 45 minutes, and this is what that stock is looking like. That meat is really pulling off of the bone. Everything is nice and tender. And just a little pro tip, make sure that you continue to add a little bit of water here and there while it's cooking. Just if the water looks like it's kind of like getting low in the pan, you don't really want things to start burning at that point. So make sure you continue to keep adding a little bit of water into the stock. So now I'm adding in the black-eyed peas. This is a pound of black-eyed peas, and I'm just going to dump them all in there and then just give it like a light, quick little mix. It doesn't really matter at this part. Just make sure everything is kind of like under that water, submerged under that water, and bring it up to a boil. So it's been about 15 minutes and I'm just taking off the lid to see what these black-eyed peas are looking like. And at this stage, I like to just move them all around in the pot a little bit, to determine if I need to add any extra water to it, see how the beans are softening up, or the peas. Are they peas or beans? I don't know. And, see how the meat is tenderizing or softening up. And, just making sure that everything is kind of like cooking together and really coming together nicely. And at this stage, I also like to, like I mentioned, check the beans. So this is one way I do it. I like just use a spoon and just press it and see, kind of like how they're softening up, if they're mashing up, if they're, if there's a lot of resistance. And that'll basically tell me how much longer the beans need to cook. So at this stage, I knew that I needed to cook the beans for at least 30 more minutes at the very least. But I knew that I could also add in a little bit of aromatics. So when I cook black-eyed peas, or really any kind of beans, honestly, I like to just taste the natural taste and flavor of the beans or peas, and so I don't really go too crazy with it. So this, I'm just adding in some onions, one little small onion that I didn't chop up, and then just another medium-sized onion, just chopped up in quarters. And as you saw, I went in with a little bit of water, probably about a cup or so of water, and that's just to make sure that the onions can be submerged under that stock, and also just to provide a little bit of extra liquid for the peas to really just cook into. And again, like I said, you always want to make sure you keep enough water in the pan so nothing starts to stick together. And as you also see, I forgot to add in a bay leaf earlier. So if you want to, do that earlier when you put the beans in. So now about 15 minutes later, this is what everything is looking like. And y'all, this stuff is really starting to come together. You see the onions are really tenderizing. You see the broth or stock is getting a little more like creamier, and that is perfect. That lets you know that you are really cooking these black-eyed peas to where you need them to be. That ham is really just falling off the bone, and it's all nice and tender. And y'all, I could just go on and on, but you definitely know that you are doing something when your beans or peas are starting to look like this right here. So I know I need to cook it for a little bit longer, so I'm just gonna put my lid back on and cook it for a little bit longer after I sample them. So actually, before I put the lid on, I'm going to go in with a little bit of accent as well as a little bit of black pepper. And I use the accent because honestly, I just saw my mom doing that when she made beans growing up. So I just decided to put it in there. You don't really need a lot, about a quarter of a teaspoon, as well as a little bit of black pepper, about a teaspoon of that black pepper. And I just saw I was checking out the lid to make sure it wasn't too hot. So this is what the beans are pretty much looking like when they are done. And I'm just moving everything around in the pan. But you see, those beans are nice and creamy. That stock is nice and rich in color, nice and milky. And we really did our thing here. So one thing about black eyed peas, at least for my family and people I know, is that we always eat them around New Year's Eve time, and you know, maybe a couple days after. And I think traditionally, at least for us black folk, is that we eat it with greens, maybe pig feet. I know my family eat it with pig feet during New Year's time, as well as cornbread. And again, it's all just to like symbolize good luck and, you know, fellowship and, you know, a good start off to the year essentially. And so that's pretty much why I'm releasing this video now. So I hope you all enjoy it. And as you see right there, I'm going in with my salt. Don't add the salt at the beginning. You already know what I say. Salt at the beginning will make your beans tougher and it'll just make everything too salty. And yeah, y'all, you don't want to do that. So add it in at the very end. You'll thank me for it later, I promise you. So that's pretty much all I have for y'all today. Definitely hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you try it out. And you know, 2022 might have been hard for some folks, you know, ups and downs in life and everything. But 2023 is going to be a better year. So good luck to everybody and have a blessed and safe New Year's.